We're your daily collegiate football beat here on the 30th floor of the Sheraton Dallas Hotel. Penn State just had a tough loss to Houston, 30-14 at the Cotton Bowl and the TicketCity Bowl. It was tough from the get-go. Penn State couldn't really get their offense going, and Houston got going right away. So, Steve, you want to talk about Case Keenum, how he got going?
Yeah, Tom Bradley all week he talked about just surviving the first quarter, keeping it close in the first quarter because Penn State's defense has never seen anything like Houston's offense. They couldn't simulate it in practice, and they haven't played a team that is nearly as fast-paced and can move the ball nearly as well as Houston does. And it showed. And 17-0 with an offense like Penn State's, which really does not move the ball in big chunks. It was very tough to get going, and Case Keenum just had his way with the Penn State defense. 532 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 227 yards in the first quarter. He set a bowl record, an NCAA bowl record for most yards in the first quarter. And the big plays again really, kind of snake bit Penn State's defense. First possession, they had him 3rd and 10 after 2 incompletions, and a blown coverage as Keenum gets flushed out of the pocket, gets him the first down, and 3 plays later, another 40-yard play for a touchdown. So it's the big plays like that really killed him today, because for the most part, Penn State's defense, forced Keenum to, complete all his passes, complete everything underneath. And when he did that, they moved the ball, but, they were able to keep him under control. They were able to keep it to 8 and then hold him to field goals. But those big plays really, cost them.
Yeah, guys, kind of a big thing for Keenum's success was Penn State's defensive line's lack thereof. Jordan Hill, Devin Still, guys have been huge players for Penn State, making plays all the time, getting tackles for loss, forced fumbles, and whatever. They weren't there this week. Case Keenum was so fast he couldn't. They gave Penn State's defensive line less than 2 seconds in order to get from the line, break the blocks, and then get to the quarterback. And Jordan Hill said it was nearly impossible to do that. I mean, even if they probably were unblocked straight to Case Keenum, he would have gotten the ball off before they came have a chance to get there. And with Houston's lack of running game, they ran it 16 times total, including quarterback runs and everything in the whole game. There was no way they're going to get to make any tackles or have any big plays. So without Penn State's defensive line, which has been one of the big plus sides for the team, kind of left the secondary and the linebackers out to dry. They were forced to make the plays when Keenum had just pinpoint throws right to the receivers, and it made them tough for the Penn State defense to keep up.
And Bradley did say Devin Still was really hurting from that turf toe. He wasn't 100%. It wasn't the guy we've seen all year. And I had actually never seen, I don't think, Houston play. I didn't get to see the Conference USA Championship game. And, wrapping your head around those numbers and watching, Case Keenum just pick apart defenses all day, it's just, he's put the ball wherever he wanted, just over and over again. And, just trying to keep up with the stats and, keep up with, my record of what happened, I couldn't really do that because I'd look up from my computer and there'd be another 15-yard completion over the middle. So I was expecting Penn State to play better. Obviously, it's a top 10 defense, but I really just think Houston is that good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Houston's defense also a little underrated. I think they had a good game plan, and we all knew what the game plan was. It was, we're going to put 8, 9 guys in the box, and we're going to make Rob Bolden beat us. And they were pretty confident that Rob Bolden wasn't going to beat them, and he didn't.
I hate being so critical of this team sometimes, but Rob Bolden is not good at all. Every now and then he just puts it 30 yards downfield, like we saw today. Justin Brown perfectly outstretched his hands. That's such a nicely well-thrown ball. Not an easy throw by any means. And then first drive, he's got Mike Zordich on the sideline, easy screen, wide open on a short 3rd down play, and throws it right over his head. It's just he's not consistent at all. And he finished it 7 for 26 with 3 picks. Very well could have been 5 or 6 picks. Had Houston linebacker in the secondary caught the ball. Could have been a couple pick sixes actually. And somebody asked Bradley after the game, would this be different if Matt McGloin could have played? And I don't think Bradley wanted to throw Bolden under the bus by any means. He declined to answer, but it certainly would have been different because Matt McGloin's no Case Keenum, but he's definitely gives you a better chance than Rob Bolden.
And Bolden just, you can tell, no confidence in himself, and that it's from a number of things. I think Penn State wanted him to be the guy. They gave him every opportunity they could until they just had to cut it off and say, you know, enough's enough. Matt's the guy. He gives us the best chance to win. So that, I mean, Bolden gets booed by the student section. That's something that, you know, gives him zero confidence. And not that maybe if his confidence was high, you know, I'm not saying he'd be, like I said, it wouldn't be Case Keenum, but, you know, maybe get the offense going a little bit and maybe open up the running game because, you know, the defense has to fear him just a little bit.
Yeah, I guess we mentioned two other C's for Bolden. Mentioned, you know, the consistency and the what else did you say? I thought the two C's, consistency and what do you guys said?
Completions.
Yeah, completions.
I would say lack of concentration. That's what I said. Lack of
Concentration.
concentration. I mean, he seems like confidence, consistency, concentration. Yeah, and it seems like, you know, those short throws to Zordich. I mean, it seems like you concentrate, you can hit him. It seems like, I don't know. It seems like he's not concentrating. It's something along those lines.
His head's in the game.
Yeah.
It seems a lot of times he's just, in general, just in. It just seems like out of it, kind of, just from my perspective.
And today just came down to making plays, like you said, Steve. First drive for Houston, 2 third and longs, big completion, then touchdown. Derek Moy had a ball in his hands when Bolden was trying to get going. He had just completed his first pass, I think, beginning of the second quarter, and then Moy dropped a long ball. Then later in the game, late fourth quarter probably, when they're still down technically 2 scores, 16 points, and Davon Smith had a short touchdown. He only got one hand on it. I think he got 2 hands on it. That could have been a score, possibly bring within 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion of Houston. So Penn State had opportunities on defense and offense and just couldn't execute.
Yeah,
Houston seemed to execute everything.
Yeah, mentally, just, you know, Tom Bradley talked about it. 3 kick returns, they had 15-yard penalties. You know, and when your offense isn't moving, and Jazz Powell, I thought Najee Amos did a real good job in the return game today.
A lot of short kicks.
I thought, a lot of short kicks. You know, they're bringing it out to the 35, 40-yard line, and they're blocking the back from the spot of the foul. They're back to the 10. So, you know, when the offense doesn't get going, and then you force Anthony Farrah to punt, who didn't really seem like he had all that good of a day, you give Case Keenum the ball on the 50-yard line. I mean, they're going to get points. That's just the way it is, and you can't make mistakes like that if you want to beat a team with an offense like Houston.
Yeah. Seems like we've been talking for a while here. Just a lot of things went wrong for Penn State. A lot of things went right for Houston. Case Keenum was doing what he does, I guess. Yeah. So it's a sour note to end on for a really odd season, especially the last 2 months. But Penn State has to keep going. Larry Johnson said just have to keep moving forward, not knowing what happens. So we'll continue covering it, coaching search, whatever happens in the offseason. So be sure to check back on the Foot blog and PCUcollegian.com for updates.